Shah Jahan, in this session, welcome back students. In this session, we'll be dealing with the various later Mughals. Earlier, we have dealt with Shah Jahan and we have already dealt with Jahangir and all. So now we'll be dealing with Aurangzeb. So Aurangzeb, last class I have told you that Aurangzeb had to go through the war of succession. And he also had to face a lot of problems, and during his rule also there were lots of misjudgments and lots of problems that he had to face, and which was one of the reasons for the decline of the Mughal empire as well. So first we'll be dealing with Aurangzeb and the war of succession. So Shah Jahan had number of sons, and the sons were appointed as the governors of different provinces. You have to remember, Dara Shikoh had Punjab, Punjab and the northwestern province. Shuja was in charge of the provinces of Bengal and Odisha. Aurangzeb was the governor of Deccan, and Murad of Gujarat. So you can see that the different, all the sons of Shah Jahan were given various provinces, were given the governorship of various provinces, and there was obviously war of succession among the brothers. So remember, Dara Shikoh was Dara Shikoh was known as a philosopher king. He was considered to be very able administrator, and he also had a knowledge about various religions. He had immense knowledge about the administration, about how to become an efficient ruler. So he was much of an able candidate for the kingship. So for being the next king, but there was an war of succession between the various brothers of Dara Shikoh, and finally after Aurangzeb had imprisoned his brother and his father. After all of this, finally Aurangzeb became the king. And his name was, you have to remember his full name, Abul Muzaffar Mu'uddin Muhammad bin Aurangzeb. So he was a ruler he ruled in the throne of Delhi from 1618 to 1707, and was the 6th Mughal emperor. He was also known as Alamgir. During his reign, the Mughal Empire reached its greatest extent, and he was a pious Muslim, and his policies abandoned the legacy which was the legacy of secularization by Akbar. So remember, he was the last Mughal ruler who was very efficient in maintaining the administering the Mughal Empire, and also after him the Mughal Empire began to decline. And he was a Muslim, he was a pious Muslim, he was also an Orthodox Muslim. We'll be dealing with this few reasons of the decline of Mughal Empire, which was the decline caused because of few of the policies and few of the thoughts of Aurangzeb, which finally led to the decline of Mughal Emperor. Now we'll be talking about Deccan policy of Aurangzeb. So Aurangzeb was very he wanted to expand his empire in the Deccan also, and he wanted to check the growing influence of the Marathas. So to subjugate the Shia kingdoms of Bijapur and Golconda, he was because of the two reasons, because of two objectives, he was there in the Deccan for a long period of time. To subjugate the Shia kingdoms of Bijapur and Golconda, and to crush the growing power of the Marathas. So these were the two objectives because of which he was there in the south for a long time. So he struggled hard to achieve his objectives. For more than 20 years he was there in the Deccan, and he remained busy fighting against the Shia kingdoms. So because of this reason, there in his seat of power in Delhi, there started revolts from various sections or various other places. Revolts started against Aurangzeb, and it was very difficult for him to control all the revolts which started among the people, among the various governors. which he could have control if he was there in Delhi. So then Aurangzeb was successful in crushing the kingdoms of Bijapur and Golconda and pushing the Marathas further to the south. But this victory also had caused him certain troubles in his own seat of power in Delhi. So, as a result of the absence of Aurangzeb for a long time in the north, the enemies of Mughal Empire rose open revolts in many parts of the empire, in many parts of his country, and this prolonged struggle in the south or in the Deccan led to the exhaustion of the wealth in his treasury, and also led to bankruptcy. So the Deccan was disrupted, the economic life of the country was also disrupted because of the prolonged fights against the Marathas and also his Deccan policy. So trade and agriculture suffered, no traders dared to come to Deccan, and the caravans could travel in the south of Narmada only under strong escort. So all of this proved to be potential causes, all of this policies of Aurangzeb proved to be potent causes for the downfall of the Mughal Empire. After the death of Aurangzeb also, the war of succession remained amongst his sons. Bahadur Shah, his eldest son, emerged victorious and ascended the throne in 1707 CE. His weak successors, however, could not could not control the emerging powers and also keep up with the administration system. Now, decline of the Mughal Empire. So, first point would be weak successors. Weak successors. So, as we have just discussed that after the death of Aurangzeb, there was a war of succession among his sons, and his son Bahadur Shah became the next ruler, but he was unable to control the large empire and also continue with the administration, and he neglected. He also neglected the later Mughals also neglected the state affairs and were busy in living a luxurious life. So the nobles of the court also became very powerful because of the strict vigilance of the kings, and this reduced the status of the Mughal Emperor. The next is the religious policy of Aurangzeb. As before, in the beginning of the session, I was talking about about Aurangzeb being a very pious Muslim. So his religious policy, since he was a very pious Muslim, this particular fact led him to become an Islamist fundamentalist, and he did not allow the other religions to flourish, unlike Akbar. So, Akbar started a cult of secularism, which Aurangzeb did not. Hence, the Hindus, Sikhs and the other communities went against Aurangzeb. Now, the Deccan policy of Aurangzeb. So, Aurangzeb wanted to conquer the whole of Deccan, because of which he remained away almost for more than 20 years. And this Deccan policy proved to be a disaster for him. His conquest of Deccan state made his empire too large to administer, and his successors were unable to handle the huge empire. So then the rise of Deccan policy, the rise of new power, the rise of new powers. As we can see that there emerged there were enemies of Mughal Empire over a whole of the country almost. So, and there was rising important powers whose powers were there were few powers which started asserting their position and which started increasing their possessions all over India, like the Sikhs in the north, the Marathas in the west, as well as Satnamis and Rajputs emerged as important powers. So they started becoming enemies to the Mughal Empire, and they also took the different. They also started declaring themselves independent. So at this time, the Aurangzeb, at this time when the various portions when the various powers emerged and they started declaring independence, Aurangzeb was busy fighting in the Deccan, which led to so he could not check the powers, and finally this was one of the cause of the decline of Aurangzeb. Then Nadir Shah. So Nadir Shah invaded India in 1739 when the Mughal Empire was governed by Muhammad Shah, who was a powerless ruler. So this was the time when this was the time of later Mughals. So Nadir Shah crushed the Mughal army in less than 3 hours in the huge battle of Karnal on February 13, 1739, and he also took away the peacock throne and started with Kohinoor diamond and thousands of elephants, horses and camels with him. So this was also shame. This led to the decline of the Mughal empire as well as this degraded their importance and their prestige in their territory. Then Ahmed Shah Abdali. You have to remember the causes of the downfall of Mughal empire. So Ahmed Shah Abdali was also one of those important powers who attacked India many times. He attacked India in 1761 and fought the third battle of Panipat with the Marathas and defeated them. So during those days, the Mughal rulers were the Mughal rule was only restricted to the area near Delhi, and the Marathas mostly controlled the Great Path. So this Ahmed Shah Abdali entered India, and he was also one of the important factors for the decline of Mughal Empire. So hence we come to the end of the chapter, and you got to understand what are the policies, what are the various reasons for the downfall of Mughal Empire. Go through the chapter, and we'll be coming up with a new chapter, the last chapter of your syllabus, in the next session. That will be all. Thank you.